messy every time. Every single time. It's always something. It's always something. I mean, I find that the titles tend to be painfully accurate. No due diligence is absolutely right. But we're here and we're on time, and that's worth something to somebody, I imagine. This mat is looking like it's in its 10th year. Oh, all the mosquitoes are in Spain. Yeah. It's good to know. So I'm going to keep my hands busy. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I was wrestling a cat. Like, not in the mean way, but, you know, the teeth on their hands. And I was like, why am I bleeding? Well, because I was wrestling a cat. Did my due diligence, got my work done today, so I should be there the whole time. Nice. I didn't do any. I really didn't. I messaged that gentleman on Discord not altogether too long ago, because there's been a box of his stuff. It was not Frank. Frank is too mean. Frank goes straight. You can get Frank riled up, and he'll do that hind leg kicking, and his eyes get real big, and I'm like, Frank, it's not that serious. No, I was wrestling the big bub on the way out here, and I guess she got me. She got me a couple good ones. I wrestled a declawed cat. Once I found out that when they declaw a cat, it's just brutal. It's basically like if somebody came and cut all your fingers off at the last joint. That's basically what happens to a cat. So don't declaw cats. So, as mentioned, hey, Jimbo with a 5. Jimbo with 5. The Sawtooth lives again. Oh, we're past 50. For the 50, let's see. How do I feel? Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Boop. Hey, everybody, what are we building today? Still no micro. I'll have to unsub or maybe get a 110. Get a 110. I think that's a better option. How about the 1/18 scale? We don't do it. We don't do it. The thing of it is, here's how it goes. Particularly if you're talking about 1/24th, and any of the 1/24th guys will agree, it is not a way to save money. A lot of these guys are building $1,000 24th scales. You can have a very respectable 10 scale build for $500, right? All and like with the parts that you want. So, any more cage builds? No. I don't have any cages. Charles, we've got rails. We've got rails on rails on rails. Like, there is a leaf build coming up, if that helps. So it's rails on rails on rails. Everyone should recognize this one. It should be fairly short. Hey, CK Graphics with 5. Charles with another, dropping another single. I'm looking at the names, trying to follow the names. These little things are money pits. Yeah, 100%. I mean, they're money pits regardless of the scale, I find. But, like, there isn't enough differential in the cost for a 24th scale relative to, I mean, basically, this isn't 10th scale. Like, some of them are. Some of the RC4 drive stuff, the MST Jimny are actually 10th scale. Most of them are like 8th scale, 9th scale. And, I mean, Traxxas is really good about keeping things to scale. So when you see a TRX4M, which is 18th scale, it's so tiny. It's so tiny. My course is not built for it in any way. It's a 10th scale house, basically. I just don't get how over the past 8 months, minis are now the cost of a 10th scale RTR. Yeah. I'm at about $850 per rig for my 124s, and I'm at over $1,800 to $2,800 per one. John, where are you from? Is that Australian money? Because that sounds like Australian money. I don't know if there's a single thing in this building that's got $1,800 into it. $1,800 is a bridge. Sputter Crawler, it's the memberships. June was the experiment. Sputter Crawler asked what benefits your paycheck more. Member gifts are just straight up money. It turns out that it's memberships. And we are still on this slope, this downward slope that's going to hopefully come back up, because when we didn't do memberships for the month of June, YouTube just willingly forgets about you. They just stop showing you. And you know how I knew? You know how I could tell right away? The first thing that was most noticeable? Negative comments on videos disappeared, and so did dislikes. I was looking early this year, first quarter this year, I was looking through the videos to see what videos were still at 100% likes, no dislikes, right? And I had to go back 18 months to find 5 videos in a row that didn't have a dislike on them, because people are perhaps happier than anything to dislike something. There was a point in June, I had 9 videos in a row at 100%. So double-edged sword, just slashing away. Hey, people aren't disliking your videos, but your view counts have dropped 50% in a month. Because all of y'all that are here, you come here and you stay here. You're here for the whole deal. I get during Sputter with 10 in the month of June. Impressions, views, everything just right off of a cliff. And it took me, because the brain is not as, oh man, remember when bubble wrap was good? It took me a good solid month to figure out that it's all the Matrix. It's all interconnected. I had mentioned before that I don't think I had ever disliked a video on YouTube. That has changed. I disliked 2 shorts because I was playing a stupid mobile game that I've been playing for about a year now, and it has a little mini game inside the game, and I could not beat this level on this stupid little mini game. So I was like, I'll go to the internet and I'll see what the internet has to say about it. Thank you, JDA79. I'll see what the internet has to say about it. And I went to a video. Okay, that dude is cheating. Okay, like that was cheating. And you know how I know he was cheating? Because I took my phone and I put it up over the monitor, and I was moving my character on the screen, watching, and his character was moving 3 times as fast as mine. And I'm like, this is a mobile game, so everybody's playing it on a phone or an iPad. Maybe there's some advantage on an iPad. I don't know what it might be, but I just like that video because that dude was cheating, like for reals. And I know because on that what mobile game? It's called I gotta actually have to look it up. Last War. I got got by one of those ads that was scrolling by on on Instagram. I was instead of live streaming, I was in Laughlin for my son's 21st, and I'm honestly bored out of my mind in that moment. And I'm scrolling Instagram and an ad comes up for Last War, and I was like, you know what? I'll give it a try. And I've played it now for like 315 consecutive days or something. Your parcel should hopefully be stateside shortly. Oh, I hope so. And oh, mine has made it to the UK. Nice. Would you test the 1/7 Rarlo? I mean, I would, but I don't have any plans of ordering one because I don't have any place to put it, and it's expensive, and I got tariff timed on it anyway. The shipping would be like $300. I got that box of Rage. Those mudslingers are hard. Yes, they are. They feel, those tires felt like mountain bike tires, like actually like they just cut a piece out of a mountain bike tire and they just formed it into an RC car tire, which I mean works if it's got 200 pounds of pressure on it, but I don't think it would work that well. I mean, it hasn't. We've tested those. I've tested a lot of Swampers. So, no due diligence means I don't think that I have enough to build this. I don't think I have all the parts. But thank you, RC Zilla, for the 5. Hey, JC NorCal. Oh, is Ed invisible again? What did he do? What did he do? I'm not a huge fan of these sliders, but we'll roll with it. 77. I appreciate that. I appreciate a good use of alphanumerics. Oh, and assumption can't see. Oh, I can't at you. Oh, much like how Jimbo can't be added. Yeah. I don't understand how any of this works. And if I tried to understand how it worked, YouTube would change how it worked. 3D printer's making noises. Making like loud noises. Can you see me? I've been bad. Might as well be invisible. No, you're there. RC Jeep Guy is definitely there. Yeah, we're good. Okay. It's like link-wise because I have a set of links. Sputtercrawler, this is Sputtercrawler's build. He had originally sent in this chassis. He sent in this one, which is Kuwu. Is this Kuwu? Will the Who sliders fit? Well, the outer holes, they might. They might. Let's find out. Oh, and welcome aboard. I have to double appreciate 77 Monks gifting out memberships, and he didn't even have his own. That's a guy right there for you. Okay, yeah, outers line up. And they only block off a couple of the link mount holes in the front. So it looks like we can potentially kit bash it. How do these look on here? I don't know, these kind of look better on here. All right. What kind of chassis is that? I think this is Who Crawler. I'm pretty sure. I think. This is Mia's Gold Rush. But I'm pretty sure this is Who Crawler. My Who Crawler is too far away to go and check. Mia's Gold Rush chassis seems extremely versatile, or is there equally good budget rails that are better? I mean, for what you get, for what you spend, beating the Gold Rush is a tough ask. The only thing that we're going to have to... Why is that 3D printer being so loud? I don't trust it. Is what it is. I never trust it. We're going to have to drill some holes. Any ideas when the Lone Ranger chassis is coming into the rotation? It's supposed to be being worked on now. But I had to... Oh, I love answering a question when nobody else has any context of what I'm answering. Psycho Garage asked about the Lone Ranger. It has a servo, ESC, motor, axles. It has like all the stuff that it needs. It's going to be either a class 2. It might be a razor wire guy. It might be a class 3 guy. I haven't really decided where I'm going to go with that. It has a body. It has almost everything needed for the build. Maybe next Friday we'll build the Lone Ranger. I think, and I will do a bit more due diligence on that, so that I will be a little more sure as to whether or not I have the parts for it. So that sounds like a plan to me. Looks like I've got clearance. So these slider adapters only have 2 holes, and this has 4. We could get away with not having them, but I want to see if I can drill holes in this. Because if 2 is good, 4 is better. Okay, we'll have to settle for 3. We penciled in right there. This one is fine because it's well down here. It'll be right next to the other one. But the one in the back is right where the screw from the top comes down through, so we can't add a 3rd hole. What is the gifted membership thing? Okay, so kit crawlers. I love talking about analytics. You get me going on analytics, I'll go all day. So, people are gifting channel memberships, and I had people stop gifting channel memberships during the month of June, and the whole channel, from an analytics perspective, basically fell off because I had suspected that memberships were part of a driver, right? That motivates YouTube to show you to more people because they're like, ooh, now these people can get gifted memberships and we as YouTube can make some more money, right? And the way to test that is to rob yourself of of money, which is basically what it came down to, because by not having memberships gifted, and that was by my instruction, by people not gifting memberships in the month of June, revenue was down 40% for the month of June over the previous month. And we've already rebounded back a little, like this much. Like, is there any light coming in through? But we've bounded back that much because July is forecast at this point, just over halfway through July, to make about $60 more than we made in June. So, hey, any upward movement is absolutely appreciated. You know, you live and you learn one way or the other. Hello. Hi, guys. Hello. Hello, Earls RC. Welcome aboard the Good Ship Nonsense. How do you know if you've received a gifted membership? It will pop on the screen, like when Psycho Garage just sent one and Bloopa got it. You will also receive an email. Hugo's gone already? Jeez, they do not work hard in Spain. They do not work hard. I haven't opened the web page on my own website for months. I should open since the last time Hugo was bothering me to do it, I should log in there and see if there's been any changes. We already know that there haven't. Stricken with 5! Oh, we're building it. We're building it, guys. We're building a Jenga tower. And we're gonna find out what happens. Oh. I'm gonna have to go to the drill press to drill 2 of these. I think I figured out what the problem is. So I've got the 3D printer going, and provided that it is successful, because through the assistance of a number of Canyon arrows, through the assistance of JP Wirt designed the file, and then Matthew, we'll just go with Matthew. Matthew prepped the file, made a G-code, sent it to me. I put it into my 3D printer, and it actually worked. This is the super link sizer that'll go out to 230 millimeters, and it came out solidly okay. Oh, also, I learned a thing. Incidentally. I watch one other live stream, okay? So I watch The Harpist, Emily Harpkins, Bonsley Lady, on Wednesday nights, and I've been present for, I don't know, 40 live streams, 30, 40 live streams, and I've never gotten a gifted. And there are lives where she will get like 400 or 500 gifteds in one live stream. It's wild. I mean, she's got 700,000 subs. I've never gotten one. And apparently, if you have a particularly old YouTube account, your YouTube account might be what Google calls a brand account. And if you have a brand account, apparently you can't receive gifted memberships. I have had my YouTube account since 2006. So there's a fair chance that I have what they call a brand account, which would explain why I can't receive gifted memberships. And I'm not saying that this is true, and I'm not saying this is actually the case, but I am saying it is definitely a possibility and a reasonable explanation. How many has Zilla dropped today? It's been more than a few. Oh, Sfax has a brand account. Okay, Sfax, let me ask you, how do you find out? Where do you click to find out if it's a brand account? How do you know if it's a brand account or not? Because I would love to get a gifted over there, though I keep reminding myself, you have to be on the internet to gift memberships. The apps won't let you do it. Oh. See, this is all stuff that if somebody asked me, I'd go, huh? Oh, see, okay, CK Graphics has been here since 2007 and got one. Oh, now then I started to think, did you turn on to receive gifted? Where? I don't have, there is no checkbox that I have on mobile, YouTube, or on the app where there's any sort of a checkbox to turn on gifted memberships. Who comes up with these ridiculous rules? Alphabet Incorporated. And by extension, Google, and by extension, YouTube. It's all the same. It's all the same people. All right. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment, but not. So I'm just assuming that I have a brand account since I have no option for enabling gifted memberships. It's me and Sfax. We have the same thing. I looked at my other Gmail account and it's got that option. There it is. Yeah, okay. There it is. I'm not saying that that is absolutely factual. I don't know a lot about the back end. There is a circle with a $sign by the chat. Okay. That's to send gifts, right? Does that mean I can't give you a gift membership? I believe that I can't get a gift membership because I am the channel. Like I'm the channel. So yeah, you in the divine irony of YouTube, I don't think you can become a channel member of your own channel because who would they pay the money to? Or maybe you can. I don't know. I think it's because back in the day I created a channel not for my Gmail account but for the channel. Yeah. I can super chat and stuff, but option to gift membership isn't there. Engage with your audience. No, I have to start a poll. Yeah, like on mine? Yeah, same thing. I have super chats and super stickers, but I can't gift memberships either. Can I? Participants moderation activity. No, yeah. If there's a way to do it, I can't. I don't know where it is. I can't do it. I just have chats and supers. So I found there's a Google URL that lists brand accounts. Ooh, my YouTube channel is listed there. Ooh. I wish you could I wish you could post links. Okay, let me see. Google brand account. Check if you have a brand account. Yep. Confirmed. Come on. Come on. We can go to your brand accounts. Dr. Isotope brand account. There you go. That, you know what? On the one hand, sad making. On the other hand, now I don't have to wonder. Oh, the idiot in a shed is right above his head. But I cut like 20 of them. I have the membership gifting button, but required my Google password, which I don't know. Oh, yeah. What does the XP mean? Nothing. Do you use dark mode on anything? It saved me eye strain. Oh, that wasn't in an app. That was literally, that's a Google web page. So I have, like, if I open a new tab on Google, I'm in dark mode on everything. But once you get to that page on Google, you have no choice as to what color the background is. So if you go to look up your brand account, it's going to be white. Yeah, I run dark mode on everything. Good evening, everyone. I need to go drill these 2 holes. Oh, half completed thought. I don't have a cable, sadly, that will extend far enough. The goal was to get Jay Lobus with the 30 bucks. You know I'm going to spend that on stupid stuff like pinion gears, and oh, what did I just realize I'm completely out of? I'm already building this month's McMaster order and this month's A-Main refill order because, oh my goodness. So, if you're in the need to know, the content for the Jolly Green builds will be beginning this weekend, right? And they're going to come fast and furious. So if you have a Jolly Green, if you're one of the pre-orders, and you have a Jolly Green, and you were waiting for videos to build it, they're coming. And I've already built I've built 2 Jolly Greens out. They're sitting on my table saw right now. That's I wish that we could can I react to comments? I should pin it. Well, okay, there we go. For that, Svax gets to be moderator for the day, because that comment is chef's kiss. $30 will almost get you a pair of Reefs tires. Svax, did you see when I mentioned on the Discord that the 2 Reefs Crux in pink compound are $43 a pair? That is bold. That is extremely bold when you can get all of the J Concepts 525s for like $37 a pair. Yes, I understand. It's $6 more per pair. This really seems like splitting hairs. And now I'm rhyming, incidentally. Hey, he got it. $45, I bet. Yeah. 43 a pair. 86 for a set of that. What a time to be alive. Thank you, Mr. Scurvy. Oh, Mr. Scurvy hit Rudy. That's Boom Racing pricing. Is Proline making Reefs tires? They'd be even more. The table I put poly on almost 2 weeks ago is still gummy-ish, and I could put my fingernail into it. I think the poly was too old. Ooh. CK Graphics might be stripping a table. Oh, or if you have a shop around you, go down and get like a piece of glass. Get yourself some tempered glass. Just slap it right down over the top. It will bond itself down to that unhardened, what did he use? Spar? I think he used spar urethane. Yeah, this was the polyacrylic, and it took about 10 days to actually tough up, but it's been over a decade now on this, and you can see where I do not treat it kindly. Marcus Tibbetts with 5. The sawtooth is going to have this sharp point. I recognize all those names. Sofa King Scale, My RC Obsession, Rob O, Rider RC, Green Warrior. I've seen all these names before. Everybody. Ooh, Sheeta Lexan. Yeah, Sheeta Lexan. I have one of my workbenches, which you never ever see, is in the absolute opposite corner. So as far away as you can get me, away from me in the building. And the whole top of it is a sheet of 1/4-inch acrylic. It's not too bad to work on. It's solidly okay. Did you buy any half-price OT6 tires? I did not. I missed out because I get paid in 3 days. I get paid on Monday. And by this time, and with Anime Expo falling inside of a pay period, any of the stuff that got sent out or any of the money that I sent out, the gauntlets, I basically paid for those. Well, what do I mean I? You all basically paid for those. The gauntlets were Canyon funded almost exclusively to the tune of, geez, all of the cosplay stuff all in was like $500. So one build of the Canyon went and turned into a wispy smoke and turned into cosplay stuff. I have a thought that I haven't completed. Okay, because I don't have a camera to go all the way over there. I have this in my hand. Chuck Hurley needs one of these. RPM has decided to stop making theirs for whatever reason. I will file that with Kimbrough stop making scalloped wheel grips. I don't understand it. Nobody understands it. We still want these things. So the printer right now is whirling away, printing another one of these. All right, so you're going to sit here and stare at nothing. I wish I had something dynamic to give you, because I need to take this drill bit and these two guys over here, and I need to drill those two holes so that I can mount the chassis. Oh, so Chuck's is being printed right now. I 3D printed this one yesterday, and I'm 3D printing one right now. And then I went over it with, Erwin had a fantastic idea, which is if you have a printer that does the multi-spools, you print the top layer in a different color. This is Vallejo Afterwash. I just brushed black on it and wiped it off with a paper towel just to give it some contrast. That's the way we do it around here. But it went together nice. It's good. So I'm going to drill these two holes. Yeah, I need to be able to throw it to something entertaining. Don't time me, because it'll make me nervous. I'm going to drill these two, and I'm going to see how long until his print is done. Provided that it works. I can yell from the other side, I guess. Oh, the print looks phenomenal. And it's got an hour and 7 minutes left. Oh, that was too easy. I was saying to Matthew on the Discord that he has basically single-handedly got me printing anything, and as is to be expected, 3D printing keeps treating me the way 3D printing keeps treating me. He sent me a file to print these spring cups, right? And they're coming out just fine. The printer isn't still dead on in the settings. You see that one? These didn't do it because I adjusted the Z-axis while it was printing. So these came out a little better. I would consider these to be usable. They're not fantastic because we're still getting there, but they are usable. I have printed out 16 cups, and if we are generous with what is successful, I have printed 5 successful spring caps or cups. So, in the spirit of baseball, 5 divided by 16, I'm batting 312. This morning I was batting 166. So a 312 batting average is excellent if you're in the major leagues. When it comes to 3D printing, I don't know if 312 is a good batting average, but it printed this just great. And the second one looks even better than this one. So I would say fingers crossed, but I'm just going to let fate take hold. Let's see what happens. I have no mental capability to raise my expectations. I mean, you just divide the number by the other number. That's not really math. That's arithmetic. Maybe you could print the spring cups with a little extra material for the 16 3D printed cups. I'm going to John Henry it. I'm going to start that thing printing a 4-pack of cups. One of them failed completely. This was the one that was right in between. So the Z-axis was off. So see, that one doesn't really count. But I've gotten 5-ish out of the 16. I'm starting to bet. I thought you hated printed parts. I do. Oh, I'm not into it. But I'll take it. I want to be able to print things like spring cups reliably because I don't want to have to make them all out of aluminum because I am energy conserving by nature. So, but at the end of the day, which one would you prefer? If you were going to put one on your vehicle, which one would you take? Because I made that one out of scrap aluminum on my lathe and I printed that out on my printer. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to take this one. But they are more work than they should be, to the point where I ordinarily just order a bag of them from Deluxe. And you order a whole bag of them from Deluxe, and then the next thing you know, you've used them all up. And that's exactly what I've done. I have 2 spring cups left in my spring bin. Well, plus a couple of these. What brass portal covers for Mias nylon portals other than the Mias ones? If you were waiting for an affiliate link, you, sir, shall have it. Ooh, they're on sale. And they're overnight. Oh, my window's all huge. Link. Copy. Why is this window so big? For some reason, the computer doesn't resize correctly when I drag stuff from one monitor to the other. And then I have to go paste. That's what you want to buy. Who asked? Aaron. That's what you want to buy. The cup that looks like chewed gum would be the obvious choice. And here's the thing. I'm going to keep printing them until they start working. Like, we'll get some. Would you be more excited to find a new HB Sedona or a new Boom Racing Hustler? Oof. Man, I do love me. Why should we limit ourselves and restrict it to Hustlers? Just think about how terrible all of the Boom Racing tires are. So if, in case Charles wasn't paying attention, I'm printing you one of those. Chuck, I'm printing you one of those. And if the universe is cooperative, it will be done in just over an hour. And then we'll see if it works. I make, at this point, no guarantees. Because it is effectively out of my hands. Stupid RPM, discontinuing it for no reason. Oh yeah. Look at that. I drilled a 3rd hole and it actually worked. Color me as surprised as anyone else. Just got a set of Sedonas in the UK for £45. That's if you're sure if you saw. But one of the tires on sale are the V1 KLRs. Oh, I do. The V1 KLR is my favorite of the KLRs. Not of tires. I thought those were all gone. I love 3D printing and designing. We are different. We are different ships in the same waters. I like designing things and I like making things, but I don't like the uncontrollable variability of 3D printing. And I'm a bespoke man, so I never take repeatability in mind when I'm making something. I never think about how am I going to make 50 of these. I'm thinking about how am I going to make one of these or 5 of these at the most, a couple of them. So I definitely ran into that problem when doing the stuff for the Jolly Green chassis because I never intended to do it. Oh, it does need to be longer. Because we have a thicker side piece. Yes. Need 35s. Of course we need 35s. Barely have any. Because again, I keep building things. I use ChatGPT for parameters for 3D printing success. Huh. Plus a filament dryer. Oh, someone asked earlier what I have. I've got a Keedy X-Max 3. And if set up and your Z offset or whatever the hell it's called, if it's set up correctly and you're using good filament, it has a filament dryer built into it. The filament all goes through like a tube. It's the closed case type. What do they call it? Core XY. It's one of those. It's great. I can't fault it too much. As I said, and this, I wish I didn't have to keep tripling down on it, but I mean, I will. I don't have any issue with any individual 3D printer. I am not crazy about 3D printing because it's not the way I do things. That's a 40 in the 35s. I make things by hand, and I don't embrace the iterative process inherent to 3D printing, which is you're rapid prototyping, and that is what 3D printing is excellent for. But when I make something, I make a determined effort to one and done everything. I want to make something once and have it done, whether it's a chassis, it's a panhard mount, whatever it is. So if you're never thinking about repeatability, then 3D printing falls by the wayside. 3D printing is valuable. I'm not going to say that it's not, because I wouldn't want to make this, although, I mean, I kind of did. This is the tire sizer, which I made with scrap plywood, some acrylic with some spacers, and then I lasered the rulers on with my laser. So this is as close as I get to 3D printing. And if you've watched tire tests, how many times have I used this? So I use it every time that I don't forget to use it. So Delrin, aluminum, wood, ABS. Like I'm a materials guy, and I mean, I'm hoping that I'm alive to see it. I would like to see 3D printing to get to the point where it is not what it is now. which is you tell the thing go, and it just does it, right? I printed one set of spring cups that didn't work, and then I raised the bed, so I tightened the z-axis by 2 clicks of the z-axis, and it moves each click in 0.05 millimeters. So I called it 2 clicks of windage. So I put in 2 clicks of windage, and you could notice that the print got better. I don't like that. I'm a faux woodworker, little bit of a carpenter. That degree of accuracy, that's not where I live. When I'm turning stuff on a lathe, I'm a 5,000ths man. I can fairly regularly achieve a repeatability of about 5,000ths. I'm not here about 0.05 millimeters. It's not where I live. The thing is way over. It was way over. I don't remember that being so far over. But I don't remember a lot of things. Any chance we could get a brazing for any? I bought the stuff to do brazing. It's definitely over a year ago now, and I still haven't done it. It's not saying that I won't. What side trays are the? I hate the butterfly wings. J. Lobus, these are. We're kit bashing. So these came from this, which is the Who Crawler. What do they call it? It's got a 4 in it. It's like the R4, the V4, the U4, the C4. I want to say it's got a 4 in it. It might have a 3 in it. So it has these nice little flat adapter guys to put the carbon down on. It's nice. It's nice. You can also, like, if you just don't like the fact that they're leaned up like that, do you have a vise? You just slide this in there and whack it, and then it's flat. And then you can trim them, because this is just, whatever's lower than 6061, this is that. That stuff cuts real easy. I just spent 3 hours cutting, filing, and drilling to make 2 11x7x1 brass spacers. I'd have missed all the fun if they were printed. Yeah, right? Oh, I almost missed. I spoke to Mias about the Traxxas rod ends. I was told they have stock. They just haven't been able to the website yet. I just ordered 200 to get me along with my links. Oh, because as I pointed out in another one, I keep them in 2 separate drawers, but these are Traxxas rod ends and these are Mias rod ends. The biggest difference between the two being that these use a 5.7 millimeter diameter ball and these use 5.8s. But other than that, they are physically and cosmetically basically identical. It almost looks like they came out of the same mold. Now, because I've gone through a giant box of Mias links, I have a lot of Mias rod ends. So every build that I'm doing recently, I've been trying to use these because I have so many. And in terms of hollow balls and ball studs, can you guess which one is 5.8x7? Can you guess which one comes out of Mias? Meanwhile, 5.7x7's got about 15 in it, 7x7, 5. I'm trying to put 5.8x7s into everything that they will fit in. Because this is the condition of my straight links. That's all I have left. And some might say, well, that's kind of a lot. It's mostly just the same lengths. Between 100 and 120, I have so many. I built 30 links in one sitting. And 30 links will clear you out of links. And, again, We're in between. We're in the between times. So I can't. We keep the finances separated. Channel stuff is channel stuff, and life stuff is life stuff. So never the twain shall meet. Unless you talk about spending the money from channel stuff on Anime Expo stuff, in which case that happens too. I almost forgot that the servo mount, he did specify that he would prefer CMS, and I am here for it. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. We're gonna try. We're going stainless because the only 35s I had are stainless. That's true. As a mechanic, he does kit bash real cars. Well, manufacturers do almost nothing but kit bash real cars. I sent a buddy of mine the best Instagram reel that I've seen in a while. I would play it, but I do. Oh, that's true. Sanctus, thank you for the assist. I live streamed it, so we can write that off on the imaginary taxes. I do have to. I have to incorporate this year, I think. Because it's getting I'm almost making teenager money at this point. Almost. Give me another 2 years and I'll be up to the revenue of someone that works a 20-hour-a-week minimum wage job. And while we're at it, we won't talk about the amount of time that I spend doing this nonsense, because it is considerable. Do what you love, right? Is that the line they try to feed? I cannot. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna cheat. What do we need to do to set up chassis mounted steering on a Gold Rush? We need to go get Gary Musey, who is chassis mounted steering. Gold Rush. We can see. Okay. Yep. It's not perfect, but it's good enough for this work. Definitely good enough for this work. Good thing it's your hobby. Truth. If I depended on this money to do anything with other than nonsensical toy car stuff, every day would be an actual crisis, swirled together wonderfully with an existential crisis. But as it stands, it's not so bad. Sorry for dropping out early, back screaming, and meds not touching it. Have a great stream, everyone. I've been there. I know that. What is it about our back? It's that it's attached to our brain, right? It's because it's hooked up to our brain. Like, back pain is a real different thing. We need him to, you got to find out whatever position that you're comfortable in. He's got to Velcro an iPad somewhere so he can just passively watch as I do dumb things. that. Do I have another super horn? There's a reason a lot given to the crappy ad reads. Yeah. Oh, hey, Hugo's back. Content creators or modders can hide a user by finding a comment they've left, selecting more, and then hide from channel. Who needs hidden from channel? Did I miss something? I think I've been pretty. I thought I've been doing all right. If I miss it, and I mean it does not happen often, but if somebody says something objectionable, then just point it out. You know. On a given day, my back never feels worse than right when I first thing wake up in the morning. Just absolutely wrecked. And I mean, I can go out here and lift concrete all day. I need a super horn, and I don't know if I have any. Thought I had one. I do! Yay! Add that to the list. Do you own any Traxxas crawlers? Yes, I do. Many. Yeah, Hugo watching the live on a date with a girl from L'Oreal. Yeah. And I can't, damn it, my brain, the betrayal. I'm trying to think of the Spanish girl's name that works in accounting. I was going to make up a whole scenario, and my brain will not think of a Spanish female name. It's amazing. It's amazing. Big heads? No, washers. Yeah. As long as my hands are busy, you know. What is the best LCG chassis in your eyes? Maribel. That's excellent. Maribel from accounting. And thus the lore is begun. You know, we've told you before, Consuela. Okay. What is the best LCG chassis? There's no such thing. It's all gonna come down to what you want to do. The Mias, which is what we're working on right now, is great. If you want to build a Maricela, that's a good one. If you want to build yourself a decently capable, inexpensive Class 2 or dabbling in Class 3 sort of rig, great. Economical. There are so many chassis out there. Like, if we're talking about pure performance, Esmeralda is great. If you're talking about pure performance at the expense of anything else, basically, in Class 2, meaning what this is, 475 tires, a wheelbase around that 313 to 324 millimeter range, in that width of the 240 to 250 millimeter area, somewhere in there. I think the Zoku FF right now is the most capable with the least amount of faff. Like, you put it together, and away that thing goes. See what Lee said? You're the only one who can unhide Ed. Navigate to YouTube Studio, then go to Settings, Community, Hidden Users. I'm on my way. How did Ed get hidden? Settings? Channel? Permissions? Community moderation. User management. Managing moderators, standard moderators, approved. Okay, hidden users. How did he get on here? Okay. Is he back? Some of these I don't recognize. But, okay. Ed. Salmonella and Marianella. Ah! One of my wife's coworkers is named Esmeralda, and I don't... How did I not think of that? I clicked the X. Ed, speak to us from the other side. He was... Oh, wait. I didn't click save. Okay, how about now? Settings saved. Settings. Community moderation. Make sure he's not still in there. He's not. Okay. Told him on the 404 that he's free again. How did he get in there? Well, I mean, I do have 4 moderators now, and I don't know what you people are up to. There he is! Wait, I'm pointing. There he is, he's back! Hello, Mr. Tarantino. Hello, Ed! Ed is back! Well, now we know where to look. He had been, this is like bringing someone back from the dead. He was completely disappeared, and we have retrieved him. Now, which mod is going to do the funny thing and put him on timeout? It wasn't me. Now, I will say, there are a lot of names on the hidden list that I don't recognize. So, Ed Scribner was timed out for 10 seconds. That's awesome. So that just means that the staff, that just means that the moderating staff is doing their job. Because if I don't see it, then that means it's working. I'm on board. Can't believe he got 10-second timeouted. After all that time as a ghost. I question the Mia's decision. So, a little more on the notion of the best LCG chassis when I don't believe there is such a thing. The best one is the one that checks all of the applicable boxes from doing what you want it to do, costing what you want it to cost, requiring the least amount of faff to get it to work right. You know, like if you don't have to custom fabricate stuff. Some people might not be crazy about how the Gold Rush has an FMM with a T case. Maybe they just want a center gearbox. That would not be a problem. That wouldn't be a problem for anybody. But Mias, for whatever reason, opted to use their very own skid layout. Then they did it again on their, like, what if you just wanted to put their underdrive box in here? I've actually never checked to see if it will fit. I think it will, but I've never checked. Was the file for the link tool the one Matthew sent? Yeah. Yes, it is. It's going again right now. My comment got buried. Have you ever built a Rock Pirates chassis? I got partway into building a Rock Pirates chassis. Back when Hardline got built for Shaker MT, he sent in the whole Rock Pirates regalia, the one that was the conversion for Phoenix, and not a single part fit, not one. Rock Pirates has this tendency to make things that are sort of like universal fit. And I don't like that. For a chassis, I want it to be very specific to what I'm doing. I saw someone just mention a rum runner. Wasn't Middle School Desk? Yes! Middle School Desk was a Rock Pirates VRD chassis, which I bastardized to the extreme, and including cutting up a lot of it, and didn't even know that it was a Rock Pirates until I'd already all cut it up. I saw Rum Runner mention. That's one that you're never going to see here, because I have builds that cost less than just that chassis. Spacing center to center is, yes, 38 millimeters. Now, you mean this spacing, right? Not this? Or do you mean that? Because that is also 38 millimeters. What is standard? So this spacing and this spacing is the same. Is that coincidental? I don't know. I can't know everything about every chassis. Nor would I try. Do an iguana? Oh, is that the... Or no, I'm thinking gecko. The ones from Europe. The one where it'll cost you $1,000 to build just up the chassis. Yeah, Acres Iguana. Maybe that is the one that I'm thinking of. Can you check the hidden users list for Moose as well? Morgue, Boosted Boys, Outlaw Farmers, Midwest Man, Dookie FPV, Mandy Burns, Fred Stemwinder, Jason Casely, and Dale Murphy. Any other name has been in the blocked for a long time. Notable in there was the guy that had a negative comment to make on every single video. Until finally I said, I don't want to be that guy, but I was like, this is your last warning. If you do this again on another video, I'm just going to hide you from the channel. And he made another comment on another video as if I had never said anything. So I was like, all right. Hey! Get in there, Hugo. Get in there. There's a member show where I drive a boat. Look at that. That was MKRC builds with the sniper shot. With the one gifted. And nails Hugo. 28 days. Don't move. Don't move. No. Don't move. Here we go. I got the Class 1 Pro Crawler Gecko. The 3D printed parts are made of digestive biscuits. That is tremendous. That is tremendous. Okay. I feel like I can say this because technically I'm in the group. There's a Zoku chassis that I made. The first iteration of it is still right here. I made that. And then I made the one after that, and then I made the one after that. So when I see a chassis set up for like $300+ just for a chassis, I'm like, what are we doing? This with axles under it will be less than $300 with links. Like, you could do a reasonable Mias build for about $300. You'd have to cut some corners, but it could be done. So the idea of chassis that cost that much, I cannot. Really close to that spur gear. I don't have a body for this. I might have mentioned. The body for this is far away. Oh, I pinned Neil Daniels because it made me laugh. That I know how to do. I know how to pin things. Not completely inept. I'm quasi inept. The Mias kit is 240. Yeah, with axles and drive shafts and everything. I get the question a lot of, do I think that anybody else is offering that sort of bargain? Like, is there another place to get more for your money than with the Mias? And, I mean, I don't know. Okay, nope, that's not going to work. Oh, it's because I put the back on the front. Yeah, there's a little card on how to build this. You missed me with that. Yeah, this is going to be a big... What about the Desert RC Stinger? Desert RC Stinger Jr.? I mean, what's to say? I don't know. Could be great. I mean, if you look at piles of rails long enough, they all start to look alike. You can unpin, but you can't pin. You should be able to pin. You click on the 3 dots, like this, and then you go, I can replace the pinned message. So there can only be one pinned message at a time. What is the optimum offset 2.2 wheel for Mias Capras? I go pretty close to neutral. Like, I don't run a lot of like -10s, stuff like that on Mias Capras because you're already quite wide. I'm saving up to try the center transmission in Jora. Looks very similar to any. Yeah. If you look at enough LCG chassis in close enough proximity to one another, they all basically look alike. There's not, except for some of those, there are a couple properly weird ones on Amazon. Yeah. Normal people can clear the pinned one by just clicking the little dots. Can moderators pin messages? Yeah. There can only be one pinned at an RCzilla with another one. There can only be one pinned at a time. So if a moderator wants to pin one, they have to remove, they can replace it. And then he's off again. This is why we have multiple moderators now. These Spanish kids, I don't know. He's off with Consuela or Conchita or Esmeralda. Now I can remember the names. So Enjora's chassis is probably just going to line up fairly closely with any other number of chassis. There's only so much that you can do. I mean, there's that one that has a Wangus. It's got a little, basically like a no skid. The skid's at like a 40-degree angle or some ridiculousness. When I'm making a chassis from scratch, I basically just those are Consuela is a grandma name. I basically take a pair of axles and I set those axles down at whatever wheelbase that I want to build. And then I look at the angle of the shocks, 5/8, probably a 12. And then I position the shock towers. I make a rough idea of where I would want the shock tower to be. And I just build from there. I know Zoku is one of them. I assume Kit Crawlers was as well. I assume that there are people that have gone through a number of iterations in order to get their chassis to be where they want them to be. But I don't believe in an iterative process. The way I do it is I build a chassis for a rig, and if it's successful, then we'll build another one that is somewhat similar to that one. And if that one is too bespoke or too individual, then maybe we don't revisit that one and we build another one. Because at no point have I or will I sit down and build a chassis with the intention of building 10 of them. I'm here to build one of them. So, if I build that well, I mean, look at Blue Sky High. He's only his 5th chassis. Because had I designed that chassis not knowing anything about four-wheel steer, which I did because I didn't, and then the more I learned about four-wheel steer, the more I modified the design of that chassis to work better with the way that I'm learning to drive four-wheel steer. Cardboard and scrap wood. Yeah. I scrap it. I prototype out of aluminum, which is a habit I'm trying to break, but it's not really working. We'll see if the Spaniard comes back. It's still pretty early. We might see him again. Amazon, these just aren't as good as ones you can buy at a Crossroads of the West gun show. Would you ever try some Rock Pirate shock towers on base camp, or do you have other shock towers on it now? He's running Element Towers. I've never bought a Rock Pirates shock tower for a specific reason. It has nothing to do with, was a four-wheel steer mullet my fever dream, or will it happen? I think it was a fever dream. I think someone had mentioned it, but I had never had any intention to build one. I mean, I have the stuff in bags. I would probably have to order, universals. I think I'd have to get universals. Oh, I can carry 2. Okay, 2 perfect examples. So I wanted a shock tower with more mounting positions, so I made those. And they are made with a little bit of cosmetics because why not? If you can, then do. And then I wanted a shock tower with a little bit more mounting positions. And I also wanted them mounted to the insides of the rails. So I did that. And I think I did it because I had one of these spacers. And I was like, I will just do that. I can make that shock tower in 10 minutes for nothing. So that's the reason. And also, Rock Pirates towers are that like universal fit thing. So they all have giant, like 3.5 millimeter holes through them. All of these holes are tapped and threaded. So if I want to move that a position, I go zip, zip, and just put it in another. No lock nuts or no nothing. So a bolt-on shock tower is a flat piece of aluminum with a certain number of holes in it. So I've never purchased shock towers to attach to anything. Because $6.37, that's a crazy amount. Wait till you get the question, what's a labubu? As soon as Charles sees it, he's going to ask, what's a labubu? Because that's how it works. That should be plenty of fore to aft adjustability to get us to where we need to be. This is going to be a cab, supposedly. I might as well put them on. We're here. We're here. Oh, yeah. There it is. Here's the crazy part about Pop Mart, and by extension, Labubu, in somewhat of an answer to Mr. Hurley's question. You can see, if you don't know what a Labubu is, if you're, well, I mean, it's kind of a rallying cry for Charles now. I think he does know what a Labubu is. But, see that guy right there? That's a Labubu. Inside the lid for this, there's another Labubu. I got those things at Anime Expo in like 2022. Long before, like, so this isn't some sort of overnight thing, right? It wasn't like they just sprang to life. All of a sudden, they got really, really popular for some reason. The millennials, I don't know what did it. But I had those things for a while, and I didn't even know what a Labubu was. And someone on one of these live streams said something, I paraphrase, said something along the lines of, oh, hey, you have a Labubu. And I said, I have a what? And I had to Google what it was. It's that little, it's like a forest troll or goblin or something. I don't know. The rage for them now, I wish I could say is surprising. But I mean, let's be realistic. How surprising is it? All of us here, Hugo's off with, what did we agree on? Conchita? He's off with, yeah, it's like old people, Beanie Babies for young people. 100%. We have seen the craze of gathering things, which is a big part of why I have absolutely no beef with anybody and as many Labubu as they want to buy. I just saw one on Instagram where they're getting tattoos, like legit tattoos. Like there are tattoo artists doing tattoos on Labubu. And I fully acknowledge and will readily acknowledge into the future that I, and by extension, many of you, we have no room to say, we can't say boo about Labubu because I'm standing in a building filled with toy cars. As long as it passes the test, if that is what brings you joy, then no one should be able to interfere with you on any level. As long as they're not spending my money on their Labubu, and if it makes you feel better, I don't know if it's explicitly necessary to state, but we'll state it anyway. None of your money is being spent on Labubu, because all of these stuff, the little robot guys, they're all done in like series. So there's like a limited amount of them. Like these are really hard to find now. They did another batch of them. The wife bought one of this exact series with the robots. It's in her office at work. But we had to order it directly from the Pop Mart site, so it shipped out of China. China. What did I do with them? Put them away. Hello, Kitty. Yeah. What is your wife and kids are into that they got at Anime Expo? The wife, I thought I was free. Remember how I said I thought I was free, and that was hubris? Anime Impulse is in it's at the end of August. It's like the last week of August. And I said the only way they're going to get me to go to that is if they cosplay as stuff that they already cosplayed as. I'm not making anything for Anime Impulse. I outright refuse to make anything for Anime Chibi. Anime Chibi, in the great universe just coming at me, is the weekend of my birthday, which I have to appreciate that. And the first day of it is Friday, and I already told him, not going to happen. I'm not going on the Friday of my birthday weekend to an anime thing. So we settled on me going on Saturday instead. So Saturday, November 9th, I will be at Anime Expo Chibi, which is, it's actually not that bad. It's in Ontario, which is about 20 minutes from my house. And it's so much smaller than the full Anime Expo. You can see the whole thing in about 4 or 5 hours. And then it's a 20-minute drive home. And there's a coffee clatch like 1 block up the street. So I get myself a patio special. I might have patio specials on back-to-back days. I might have a Friday one and another live expo. We're going to have to go expo lives. It really does kill the time. And I want RCZilla on it. We're going to have to do, if we do go to Impulse, did you convince the wife to dress up? No. Oh, did she convince me to dress up? She's working on it. She's working on it. She's trying to butter me up. What is a patio special? Okay. So when I leave here, I go to a place called the Coffee Clatch, which I think is pretty much unique to Southern California. And I get a thing called a patio special. And a patio special is, here's the basic ingredients for you. 1 shot of espresso. A crap load of ice cream. Not ice, none of that, ice cream. Actual scoop it ice cream. And an Oreo cookie. That's the secret ingredient in it. And then they blend all that up together. And it tastes every bit as good as you would imagine it would. I call them adult milkshakes because it is barely a coffee drink. It's got 1 shot of espresso in a 16-ounce thing. So 1/16 of it is espresso. And the rest of it is delightfully ice cream. It's great. I highly recommend it. Yeah, ice cream, espresso, and Oreos. Who's not going to like it? I love it. It's one of my favorite things that there is. This rear guy is also kind of annoying in that it kind of catches rock a little. You know what? We'll go to the Gary Musey and we'll take that off. I finally got tired of this thing sticking on the ground whenever I drove it. Have you made a panhard mount out of aluminum at all? Yeah, but the simplest variety that you can think of. I am a big fan of vertical panhard mounts. So the easiest panhard mount known to man is you get yourself a block of aluminum like this, and you make a block, and instead of this part hanging down, you just drill one vertical hole in it, and then you mount the panhard to that. Like Element style, just like how Element does it. I was too lazy to get aluminum, so I took a block of Delrin, 2 holes right there, and you would think that I made it not flat. No. The holes in the chassis, this one's actually low and this one's high. I thought I was making it wrong. And then I drill a 3rd hole in it, and then you've got a panhard. The simplest panhard mount there is. And by doing a vertical hole, you can change the spacing in or out. Like I cut this down thinner to get the hole to line up with where I wanted it to line up. Yeah. Panhard mounts are easy after you've set up, 30 rigs on chassis mounted steering. Did the gloves you make get any attention from others? Yeah. The kid took a lot of pictures because we actually saw one other set. Somebody had made a set, and then on the day that I wasn't there, they saw somebody that bought the 3D printed ones. $1,800. I am now officially looking forward to documenting, to dropping a live stream on Anime Impulse in Anaheim, because it is the My Play School First convention in size compared to Anime Expo. They just had the numbers for this year, and paid attendance was 410,000 for Anime Expo this year. It felt like it too. And we saw, maybe because we'd never noticed to look for it before, we saw more people this year just walking in. Like no lanyard, no nothing. Doing the full, no, the 3D printed ones. $1,800, not the foam. The other person that we saw with foam had theirs made, but they were basically the same as ours. What is the secret to getting your front axle to compress without moving side to side with a 3-link? Okay, here's what you're trying to do. You are trying to make as much parallelism as possible. You want these 2 links to be parallel on this axis, right? Some of that is going to be out of your control because you don't really have control about the axle side mount point. You do have control about the altitude of this mount point, and you can space your servo up or down. I do notice right now this servo is spaced up. What does that look like? 3 millimeters? So we might have to do that on this one as well to correct the bump steer. You want them parallel this way. You also want them as parallel as possible this way, and equidistant from another. And then the thing that I should have mentioned first, you make every effort possible to have your drag link and your panhard link be the same length. So if this is 100 millimeters, you want this to be 100 millimeters. So there is going to be axle movement. There can't not be, because we are pivoting around this point. What you're trying to eliminate are things like bump steer. You're trying to eliminate as much axle swing as possible, and you're going to get into the bump steer territory. There's no bump steer here. You're going to get into the bump steer territory if your drag link is significantly different length, particularly shorter than your panhard. I mean, if they're within 5 millimeters or so, you're probably pretty good. If you can get them spot on, you're really good. And depending on how much travel you have, you can really minimize that. Like on Argentum, if you look at the inside edge of this tire and where it is inside the fender, when he goes to full compression, he probably swings the axle that way between 2 or 3 millimeters because he runs an 85 millimeter shock. So here's full droop and here's full compression. The tire's only moving 40 millimeters. So he doesn't have to worry. Now, if you try to maintain and see, he's not perfectly parallel across. He's not perfectly parallel that way, but short travel will forgive. So on an 80 millimeter shock or an 85 millimeter shock, you can get away with a lot. As Sfax just pointed out, Traxxas understands this. So a high trail has a different servo mount. It has a different panhard mount because everything moves to accommodate the longer shock. Changing the shock length is the quickest way to throw your CMS geometry straight out the window. Like, you can ruin it. Whatever the vehicle was engineered for, if you go whatever it was like if the rig was built around a 90 and you put 100 on it, the shocks are going to be at like a 20-degree angle because the panhard is now not long, because the shocks are part of a triangle. So if you see point to point to point, there's a triangle right there. And then there's a triangle right here. It's all just triangles wrangling with each other. This has axle sway. This has just the pivot. It's pivoting around this point. So it's got pivot of, yeah, I'd say about the same, around 3 millimeters. This is a 90 millimeter shock. You cannot remove it completely because geometry. You would have to have a dynamic panhard link that changed length through its swing. And at that point, just put the servo on the axle. I've set up CMS for skid forward, and that's a whole nother nightmare because you have another triangle, which is this triangle, there to there to there to there, and then imagine this link right here. So with the longer links like this, our pinion angle basically doesn't change through compression, which means that our panhard is going to stay nice and perpendicular to the chassis. But if you have a really short porch up front, right, you've got 60 millimeter links in the front and like 150s in the back. When that axle swings, it really pivots. So as it pivots through that, your panhard is moving over around all the place and trying to isolate all those variables simultaneously. CMS is chassis mounted steering. And then you will hear SOA for servo on axle. And then you will hear a mixed use of BTA because there's behind the axle, and behind the axle you have elements interpretation of it, which is they put the link, they put the tie rod behind the axle. So when element says BTA, this is what they mean. Because now that link is not out in the front clanging into everything. Other companies will put the servo behind the axle and call that behind the axle. So that is still servo. Well, I mean, I guess it is behind the axle and not on the axle. But that is all. That's an interpretation of what is on. In all servo on axle configurations, the servo is indeed on the axle, whether it's atop it or behind it. I just think it's confusing to, much like calling a tire the Rock Claw when there's already a tire called the Rock Claw. So high trail shocks on a Defender wheelbase, a no-go? No, you could absolutely do it. You would just have to change out your servo mount and your panhard mount to the ones for the high trail. If you just put them on there, it's going to destroy. Like that vehicle is just going to, you could, if you got a big enough field, you could set that truck down, put cruise control on, and it would just drive in a giant circle. Because the shocks are going to be leaned over like an oval, like a car trying to race on an oval. We can get away with some stuff, but we can't get away with all the stuff. I need one of those boxes again. What did I do with the boxes? I had boxes to throw screws in. What did I do with them? No one was here. No one was here to see what he did. Got a servo box. And then you have weirdos like me who are playing with remote steering driven by wire. Ugh. Oh. That's an introduction of variables. I want to minimize the variables. I don't want... Neil retracted his message. Well, now I have to unpin it. It was one of my highlights. The thing is, what do you want? If you want scale appearance, put chassis mounted steering on it. But there's no advantage to chassis mounted steering over servo on axle or BTA. Because a chassis mounted servo has to fight the geometry. There's a triangle. That triangle that's formed panhard to axle. That triangle does not want to change shape. So there's a constant battle going on between the drag link, aka the servo, and the panhard link. They're constantly fighting each other. So you can take a servo, say your rig is set up, chassis mounted steering, and you've got a 35 kg Amazon Blue case on it. If you take that same vehicle, like if I were to take this guy right here, even though he's on a 50? 50. If I were to take this guy right here and remove all of the CMS stuff and put the Mia servo and axle bracket and take all these pieces off, his sprung to unsprung ratio improves. The servo is going to feel stronger because it doesn't have to fight any geometry anymore because now the front end has been four-linked. It won't look as cool. I mean, it isn't even about a pursuit of scale. Do what you want to do. I do think everyone should try their hand in setting up a CMS rig because it will not try to help you. It just won't. It is ice skating uphill. We're going to see if the links... We're going to see if the links for that other chassis kind of sort of... We're doing a real kit bash. We're going to see if these links kind of line up with this. We're getting the HD 44 clones. I'm assuming, yes. I was going to say I'm assuming clones, but there's no V on there. Oh! These are the non-angled ones. These don't have the sloped back pumpkin. I don't know if I've ever seen these before. They also don't have the little bolt-on part for the little slidey bit that's on the bottom of the Vanquish. So there's all everybody's so different. This will just make it easy for us because we will choose wheelbase. Yeah, the anniversary ones do look cool. Servo and axle so you can see it. What is kit bashing again? We're working from two chassis kits. We've already stolen the chassis sides off of another kit, and now we're stealing the links from that kit to see if at least a few of them, if they'll line up. Because otherwise, I'm going to have to dig the bins because I didn't prepare anything in advance. Now, luckily, there are 2 sets of shocks in 2 different lengths. One of them is going to work. Miata with the 5. Now Ed is ducking and diving again. These have the Vanquish hexes with the little step on them, so they don't thread into into these rails very well. Anyone watch Star Trek Strange New Worlds? No, I have not. Viva El Sawtooth. All right, there we are in about a 324. So, need something to set it on. I just got the yawns real bad. Those usually don't kick in until about 3. I did not sleep well. Probably going to be... You might ask, what's he doing? All right. Stuff sticking to my arms is what I'm doing. What I'm doing is I'm looking at the servo horn. So I mount the servo this way with the horn pointing forward because it keeps things out of trouble. And we usually have enough clearance after that's why it's spaced up. Stop sticking to me. That's why it's spaced up, is to get the panhard to clear that. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at the front mount here, and I'm lining it up to where the servo will attach, where the drag link will attach to the axle. So we'd want to be right about there. And that looks like a pretty decent angle on the shock. We're right about there. Yeah, that's pretty good. We could actually go a smidge forward right there. So that would be 1 hole back on there, and then that's about perfect. And then in the rear at, say, 325 would be like that. Kind of wants to be a 313, but we'll go by the link. I never knew the RTR Vanquish servo had a half aluminum case until I tore apart my unwanted RTR optic. Yes, there are offset caps as well. Yeah, they're all sitting right behind me. And I didn't fill them yet because I didn't know which ones I'd be using. That's my excuse. So these front links are just straight. Blind guy RC. But a different blind guy. We've got a different blind guy. So we're going to guesstimate. This is also where we check, because that's at right about 115 eye to eye. And then if we went for a 325, we're looking at 150. That's not bad. That's not bad. I'm okay with that. Let's see what type of link length we need for a 150. Yeah, these are way too long. That skid is way too far forward. So we need... No, because the blind guy RC, thank you, blind guy RC, he sent CA. That's Canada money. Wow, it needs 110s. Guess what I have? Not a few. I have a lot of 110s. Erwin! He's not off doing what Erwin does. No one knows what he does. Someone knows what he does. I don't know. I know he's awake all hours of the day. I know that. Just randomly found 2 links of the exact same link. There's one. I do have a lot of high clearance, and I do have a lot of 110s. The fun part is finding them. Let's do this one. Too short. Too short. How about that one? Too short. Oh, everybody loves links. Oh, Sputter Crawler dropping coin for links. It will definitely be ordered. Come on, universe. Nope. Could you just let me pull 2 of the same link? I think these are Comfox. I think. Yeah, this is straight axle. This is Sputter Crawler's Gold Rush. Should be pretty good. It's gonna need like a Fusion 1200 or a 1400 Outrunner or something brushed in the 45 turn area, I would say. Man of temporal distortion. MKRC Builds is still waiting for a FJ40 to show up at his house. We're going to get to use... I don't hear it. It's done! Charles's link sizer is printed. Okay, that is... I kept saying over and over again 150. I put that link on and it is dead on 140. How did I get 10 millimeters shorter just by putting it together? I mean, I know the cups, the rod ends, they go in a little bit, but I only need whatever length I don't have. That's all I need. I think I've found the same link 4 times. Is this the Trucks of Fortune build? Yes, it is. Oh, praise him. Any rod end I drop on the ground is gone. Just get another one. You're actually 3D printing? Not really. I haven't seen him on here today because I think he's at work. But Matthew from the Discord bought the same exact printer that I have here. And he can just make me a G-code file for the printer and then send it to me, and then all I do is plug it into the printer and tell it to go. And then if there's something about it that doesn't come out right, he can even fix it. So it is truly, for me, a perfect situation, because I'm not sitting there in the print slicer trying to figure out how to make things work. Have you tried those body mounts I sent you yet? Nope. But I will. I'm going to have to. Maybe. Maybe not. I was going to say I'm going to have to use them on the ComFox build, but I don't have to. I don't think I'm going to have to use them on the ComFox build. They will definitely be on the Lone Ranger, because I have no body mounts for that, and I will need body mounts for that. Oh, I'm here. He just got on. Yeah, there he is. So technically, he's 3D printing over what I assume to be a vast distance. I warned him. I said, you've bought the same printer that I have, and you don't dislike 3D printing. I'm going to abuse your knowledge and capabilities, and you're going to be 3D printing remotely. Yeah, I can print the crates. All you have to do is send the file to Matthew so that he can turn it into Kitty X-Max 3 printing PETG format, and then we're off to the races. $1 million in my hand would be gone in 24 hours. I could, based on what I spend annually for the channel, before family stuff got in the way, $1 million in my hand would last me until long after I was dead. Because I don't have any other hobbies to get in the way of this one. I don't have to battle for money. That sounds like 3D printing to me. Not really. Not really. Because I don't have to figure it out. And the figuring it out, figure it out. The figuring it out is the part I didn't want to do. I'm going to go get it. Now, Matthew can evaluate. How does this one look compared? How does this one look compared to the other one? I think it's okay. Got a little. That was the very first thing it put down, but like, there's that first line where it clears the nozzle. That looks okay. I think it's all right. This build plate, though. I mean, it's good. It's real good. Now, there's a little, I don't know. It seems fine. The last one, oh, this is better. Yeah, the last, what do they call this? Brim? It was way more fighty last time. This one is almost peeling off the way I would hope that it would. And yeah, it pretty much is. And then I just clean the edges up with sandpaper. Now, let us see. So yeah, the success of this is the success of Brim, is the success of Matthew printing something over a great distance. Yeah, I have a full sheet of Metalite, and I just until this fits in here. I clean up the edges, we'll put it together, and then we'll send it off to Virginia. It'll look just like this. I'll put it together the rest of the way, and then we'll send this off to Charles, so they'll have his own link guy. It did the thing. I'm not mad about it. And I can incept myself to almost anything. So I didn't even have to 3D print to make that. Because technically I didn't. I didn't design it. I didn't figure out what all the settings needed to be. I did all of the stuff all the way up to pressing to copying the file onto a USB stick and pressing go. And in my dream of the future, where I want to see 3D printing as a long-term viable option, that is what 3D printing will be. Maybe you should just get the key to camera and give Matthew the login. Yes! Oh, no, Ed, I'm not printing. No. I have 2 spools of Creality PETG, and that is what I will be printing for the foreseeable future. I would make this the long part. I actually could cut these out of wood. Yeah. I actually could, now that you mention it. The only problem of that being that the quality of inexpensive Chinese plywood on Amazon is all over the place. Oh, I'm never going back to PLA. Like this is just a better experience all around. It's very nearly there. I think it might be one more click of windage. Is your printer Wi-Fi on your network? No, but it can be. Oh. That was almost the clean peel. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting somewhere. Yeah, I have a big, expensive Thunderbolt dock right here, and I plug a USB drive in it, and then I pop it out and I carry it over there and I put it in there. Actually, it might be on the network. How would I know? Watch out, it's old guy stuff. It's happening right now. He doesn't even know what the things are. I don't know what the things are. It's a true fact. These are lock nut style. Well, this is the lower. One way or the t'other. Somewhere is better than nowhere. That is true. CF nylon is all I use now. Don't you have to, like, take precautions for that? Like, you have to have, like, forced ventilation and stuff like that. Again, I don't know. I could be asking random questions. Connect to Wi-Fi, then you can get the IP address and manually add it in Orca Slicer. Oh. JP Wirt designed this because, as he said, he needed a 230 millimeter link. So he built he designed up a file to do it. You CAD guys I don't know how you do it. I really don't. It's not how my brain works. My wife would argue that it works at all, but it's not how I perceive that it works. So we're definitely not getting this thing running. If we can get this thing to rolling, send me the IP in the mail and I'll try printing on your machine. All right. I'll figure it out. We got good Wi-Fi in here. Faraday cage, so the signals just bounce around inside the building. It is PETG. It's a KDX Max 3, which we had to buy for print volume. For the bomb, to print the bomb. It's the only reason it's here. I kind of went to school for CAD. Yeah. It's going to be a decently long upper. I know. I'm building the rear end first. Not recommended. But I like the feel of relaxation. This is much easier on me psychically. Yeah, we'll just go right like that. 135. I'll say 135. 150, 135, that's right. That's right in the heart of the acceptability range, as far as I'm concerned. I wonder if I could dial these down enough. What's the cheapest servo you would happy to run BTA on Mias Kepras? Honestly, do I run LP on that, or do I run full height? If it's full height, you can get away real cheap. There are not nearly enough good options for half-height servos. They are all catastrophically expensive. Now, I don't know if Europe is still getting shipped AGFRC A66s. We can't even get them now. It would cost me $300 to get two A66s, and that is not a thing that's going to happen. I would love to do Gumby as double BTA instead of double SOA, but it is not financially viable. I would rather spend the money on something else. If you can clear a full height, you have a lot of options. If you have to go to a half height, the number of options you have diminishes a little bit. Driver rate with 10. Okay, seen that name. I'm so late. I haven't been keeping up. What are you building? I'm sort of building a it's a Gold Rush. We're Gold Rush adjacent. This is for Sputter Crawler, who's going to be here in just over a week. He's gonna visit the canyon. And I thought to myself, far too recently that I should admit to, very recently, like maybe yesterday, I thought to myself, hey, we should see if we can't put together his rig that's been sitting here on the floor for months and months and months, and the live stream is the perfect kind of a place to do that. Pele with the Kroners. 100, I remember, Swedish. I remember. Kroner. Krona? How many members have we gotten today? I don't know. Only Hugo knows where to look. I don't know where to look. What's 100 sex in Freedom Unit? Somebody looked it up last time, and I don't remember. You did 80 pounds. Wow, 80 pounds for the 66 LP is pretty good. I would take that deal. Yeah. I'm surprised you don't go to those expos as Luffy. Shorts, shirt, and hat. Well, I mean, I could go as this one. But, not as any of these. I'm not going with an open shirt anywhere. I put those rear links on and didn't even use the tool that I just made. Basically, the measurement for me is wholly secondary. I just want to see that they're the same length. And I don't believe these are at all. They're close. Closer than I thought. And 135. 135. Driver 8 was just popping in and popping out. Nobody needs to see my ugly mug. I don't show other people's heads. It would just be hands and feet. That's what we specialize in here. Why am I having such a hard time? There. Oh my God. The constant bending down to pick up the stuff I keep dropping is that's making me so sleepy. Hey Chuck, I thought you said that you only had $20. You can't be dropping another $5. RC family, I see our mate has a very toxic fan base along with his negative outlook. One of his fans searched for me on FB and started spamming me with death threats. What? I feel like I need more. I would totally go for Wheel and Wednesday, but he films it on Sundays. That's true. That's true. That is Wheel and Wednesday for many moons was often recorded Wednesday morning, because that's how I roll. And then once the wife expressed interest in it, because she has a real job with actual responsibilities, Sunday just became the default. That's when we go and do trailing. Now, in later months, when she has days off, we would definitely try. I would love to go do another trip to Forest Falls, but on like a Monday or a Tuesday. Not that I don't like people, but it is kind of, you feel like you're mixing your nerdery with other people's nerdery. And at one point, I have got to get Bruce. Bruce is coming up on a teardown. If you open 2 tabs and bring up a trailing episode from like 2 months ago, and then bring up the most recent one, his gearbox is getting a little loud. That thing needs fully disassembled and re-greased. And the thing is, I took the wife's entire gearbox apart and re-greased it, and it didn't get any quieter. So we had the notion during the last one that I am going to order we're going to get an Amazon gearbox, and so long as it shows up with non-powder gears in it, I'm going to attempt to bevel my own gears. Now, okay, Tony, on BTA, even on a Capra, if you're not turning big stuff, if you're only turning, say, 525s, you can get away with that 33 kg. Yeah, I don't like the looks from people. I can't believe you're having fun. Yeah. Yeah, we only saw like one group that we had to wait for them to pass by, and you could tell there was like a vibe that guy was like, we have to wait. And I was like, come on. What? Okay, that is suddenly way too short. Oh, wait, no, it isn't. Never mind. Comment rescinded. It's a little short. I wonder if it is. So this is going to run hunks. Is that going to be too much? It's right in between. Isn't it just always, though? No, you know what? We're going right there. This is a bodge at this point. This is how you build a Ghost Ride. We don't worry if everything's spot on. We just get the parts on it. Would you buy the new Reefs RC Saber 1.9? I would hope not to, and only for one reason. I was so distinctly underwhelmed by the performance of the Crux that I have been reluctant to purchase any Reefs tire released since. You're certainly not going to see me with a set of 2.2 Crux. That might be the last tire that I would ever buy at $44. What are these nuts? At $44 a pair. For the Hulk build, me as Capra for last year. Now, if you are pushing big, like if you got Sedonas on it or something, you're going to want like 50 kg. I can't even remember if my own Capra axles, like I know one set of them is SOA. What is my other set? Oh, it's BTA. And it's full height. Yeah, you can get away with full height. You can get away with full height on a Mias Capra. So yeah, the world is your oyster. They are bad to the bone. Okay, you got Sedonas. I would say 50 kg, whatever you can get. There's the 60 kg, the 62 kg AGFRC. Flash Hobby, 50 or 60. I would go direct power. I recommend to everyone either direct power both of them or direct power the front one and run the second one off of receiver power, the rear steer off of receiver power, depending on what your BEC situation looks like. Like you want like an 8 amp or so to reliably run because you will often get the rear end really bound into stuff. I have this inability to run a mix of servos. I would like to try to do like a Flash Hobby direct power 60 in the front and a Flash Hobby receiver power 60 in the back. That would be a good compromise. But when I see guys that are running like a mixed, like a full height at one end and a half height at the other, I'm like, how do you sleep? It's too dynamic. It's too dynamic. Oh, because you put it in the wrong. I put it in the wrong hole. I honestly say people should go for AGFRC. Yeah. Up until AGFRC, up and proclaim that they're not shipping 80% of their servos to the United States because of the tariffs. So we can't get most of their servos now. The world is your lobster. I will now consider, every time I'm considering a new tire, I will have to consider if it's bad to the bone. What do you think about my suggestion for your second channel dedicated to crawling canyon trails? We have a second channel dedicated to crawling. It's pretty much just called Wednesday. Nobody watches, and when I say nobody, I basically mean it. There are 125 people in this live stream right now, and about 5 times as many as that watch Wednesday. Out of the world. I try not to think about the fact that whatever amount of effort I put into anything, I am talking to you. And I mean you people. You people. That is who I'm making the videos for. I'm sharing it with you directly because growing the audience is not a thing. It's not going to. I do recall one of you optimists was like, oh, now you've hit 10,000. The world is your lobster. And it's not. Like, I'm gaining less subs this year at this time than I was last year at this time. It's just the nature of the beast. I believe the Scottish man is asking about what tires and inserts is in Bruce. So he is running the Globact, not the Injora, the ones that are called not Injora. I'm running the Globact heavy duty ones, and then I took the outer portion. So pretend that this is a 575 Injora, which are useless because they're so big and so heavy. I cut around here and took just this outer bit, and then I flipped it around inside out so the ribs are aiming outwards, and then I used the most dangerous glue on the bench, Alec P silicone glue, and I glued them together so his tires are basically ribbed on the outside. That way it fully fills out those trepidors. They work great. They work amazing. Would I recommend it? I mean, if you're building a dedicated FJ40 on, you can't do better on an FMS FJ40. And Bruce is currently just over 15 pounds. Should I start breaking arms? Yes. Or just mobile devices. Throw their phone into a ravine. Say, if you're not going to use this phone for good purposes, and then just heave it into a ravine. I never said to do that. That was someone else impersonating me. So let's say that we're right about there. 90s it is. Is that an option? Had it. Still have it. $171 for a set of rock bumps and a set of mags to Belgium. That's pretty close to America money. Actually, that's double. Because my last time when I got 2 sets from directly from J Concepts, it was $100. I have to reach for the purple stuff. Yep. Is that a correct price? Yeah, the shipping is killing. The rock bumps, well, okay. Set of rock bumps is like 75 and megs are 56. So that's 130. So you're paying about $40 for shipping. That's not terrible. Because they are a company and not your friend from the neighborhood. So they're definitely not giving you any kind of a break on the shipping. When I shipped the bits that we didn't use on Nigel, I shipped them to the UK. Devon? I want to say Devon. It was right about $30 to send it. But there does appear to be some sort of preferential treatment for shipping to the UK versus shipping to anywhere else in Europe. I don't know if we have some sort of postal agreement. I don't know what's going on over there. But every time that I've shipped something to the UK, it's been cheaper than shipping the same thing. Like when we shipped the Couvert. When the Couvert went to the UK, it cost less than shipping tapas to Spain and less than shipping Missing Link to Norway. Norway. What are the best 2.2s? Overall, all factors equal, I'd say LP megalithics. The Couvert cost $40. Yeah. Which wasn't bad, because that body is fairly big. It would be much cheaper to ship something like this. Zilla with the wine. To Brian Button. Let's see how this is. That's about where I'd want to be. It's not too bad. What do we throw? We throw everything. Try shipping to Germany and don't forget the customs fees. The last time, so when the Flanco went to Belgium, the only way I could do it in any way that was remotely affordable was through the assistance of a Canyonero who lives in Germany, but not in Germany. He lives on, I want to say, Ramstein, the Air Force Base. So I got to ship to APO FPO, which was significantly cheaper. For whatever reason, to send the Flanco to Belgium would have been over $100. I don't know why. Do the words cougar and panther still have relevance in the world? Well, they're gone. The guy who made Panther tires is dead. So what you find is all NOS, and there shall be no more ever, from what I understand. Because they're from local, like I want to say Murrieta, California, the blind guy did what the blind guy does, and he called about it. He called to see what the deal was. And the company is still going, and they still make stuff, but the RC stuff was like the guy's kind of passion project stuff. So now that he's gone, I would have to make the assumption that it's all gone. What is the low profile is the LP. Because typically, throughout history, a 2.2 tire was going to be a 575. And now there are a lot of 525 options in 2.2 inch. So we now have 2.2 low profile. Shorter sidewall, it's like the best of both worlds. How am I supposed to do this? How does this work? So this axle has nothing threaded on it at all. Usually, on a double shear, the link mount will be drilled through and you put a lock nut on it. But typically the shock mount is threaded because trying to get a lock nut in here up above the link mount is not convenient. this is another reason to I need the coffee drink today. I'm so tired. And we have a bunch of movies waiting on the Plex drive. I want to sit down and watch a movie with the wife today. We still haven't watched Thunderbolts. We haven't watched Sinners. We got a bunch of movies. I just watched a movie from 2021 yesterday called Old Henry. It was determinedly okay. It was all right. Kind of a sucker for a Western. I want to watch Rust, primarily just to see if we can find the part where they accidentally killed that, what was it, director of photography? Thinking about a sound system and how to choose one that has a realistic engine sound. All right, so the duo, why can't I remember the name of it? It's right here. I keep it in a box because I just took it out of the Sense Innovations, the ESS Dual. This one is pretty good. And then the Spaniard popped in just to go to bed. They're wearing them out. The girls are wearing them out. The software is not intuitive. It's not great, but the module is loud to the point where it's too loud. Like, it's not the kind of volume you would want to use unless you are strictly around people also in the pursuit of toy cars. Because I think they rated it, 5 watt times 2. So it's supposed to be like a 10 watt. It is loud. I think it has 10 clicks of volume, and I run it at 3. I can attest to the Sense Innovations one. Bruce had the GT Power. Did I rebox it in its original box? Bruce was running this one, the GT Power, which ran through this module, which does not have programmable engine sounds. This one does. And most of them, for whatever reasons, are not... Like, there's like... There's like turbo Mustangs and stuff. The availability of like ka-chunka diesel ones, not as high as what you would like. I may put the ESS Dual in Bruce at some point, but I need to get his gearbox noise tamed back down. When that LRT2 was brand new, that thing whispered, and I would like to reclaim that whisper. I know I mentioned it in the Discord, but how good of a deal was that $44 ESC motor and program? Yeah. Oh, was it still Red Cat? Is Red Cat still doing that? Because if they are, how many must they have had? I had mentioned it when that first came out, that I was like, if you're looking for a brushed combo, it's an excellent place to start, because even if you throw away the motor, you get a 1080 and a program card for $44. If you want good, big diesel sounds, look at Model Train sound units. That's not a bad idea. Sound modules are annoying most of the time, because in my experience, getting the sound module loud enough to be heard, loud enough to drown out the sound of the actual drivetrain, but not being so loud that you have to yell to be heard over it. Yeah, they don't, they tend, the one Rode in the back of Bruce unplugged for months until finally, when he went through his whole overhaul program, which sadly did not involve dropping the gearbox. I'm thinking I can drop the gearbox without taking the whole rig apart. I'm going to try. I will most likely fail, but I'm going to try. Did this thing have spacers for the shocks? Nay. How big do we even need? Those will do. Those will do. We're going to get, for sure, a percentage of the way done. I want a sound unit that drowns out the servo noise. Yeah. It's a 5-slot, 13-turn, 550 Holmes can. Honestly, what I do and how I want to drive it's perfect. Have you tried the cheap half heights yet from 40 kg from OCS? $50. Where? From where? Like from whence do you purchase it? My first, I tend to look first for everything on Amazon, as we know. I think I want to put a 1080 in my FJ40. 1080 is great, especially G2. If you have a G2, use that, because on a trail rig, the ability to turn your drag brake off is actually fairly handy. What did I do with the chassis spacers? Bruce is on a Fusion Pro. I would have to run a properly spicy brushed setup, and it's too many miles. Everything else already has so much maintenance. I just want to, I don't want to have to worry about the motor. Ooh. Yeah, it's pretty good on the 40. It's not bad. We'll find out if that's the right amount. Okay. Now, the goal is, I just got all 4 wisdom teeth pulled, feeling pretty good right now. Okay. So, right now, you're living, you're alive because of a thing called lidocaine. That lidocaine is going to wear off in anywhere between 2 and 5 hours, depending on both how well the lidocaine got into you and how well your system can handle getting rid of it. When that lidocaine runs out, it's going to feel like a horse kicked you in the face. And it's going to be miserable for usually about 36 hours. And then you'll have just kind of settled into the pain that will be with you. I mean, as an arthritic with arthritis in me, I will gladly live with the arthritis over what they can do to your mouth. Just leave my teeth alone. Just leave my teeth alone. I floss every day because I want them dentists to keep their filthy hands off of my teeth. My last trip to the dentist was one of the most miserable experiences of my whole life. I just had epidural injections in my low back a couple hours ago. Ugh, the fentanyl wore off in my spine. Fentanyl? Straight. Yeah, enjoy a while last and have another milkshake. Miata Commuter is spot on. Because reality is going to come for you. Let's say that we're right about there. We're really going to fudge this front end together. Extra fudgy. Almost went to the wrong link point. It's still 110. Okay, hold on a second. That better be wind. There's the sound of tiny raindrops falling on the building on the 18th of July. Mark that down in your calendars, everybody. Raining in July. is not common here. Right there. Yeah, those can be... still going to go angled. I have used up most of the angled Mias ends. Not all, but certainly most. Going to have to do a number of builds consecutively using only the straight ones. Okay, one more, and we can build 2 links. 4. Not raining in July here would be a miracle. Yeah, July it doesn't rain. Not here. Now, it's barely 90 outside right now, which also for us is uncommon. It's only 78 degrees indoors right now. In July. It rained in... Well, Vegas is real desert. It can be blazing hot and then rain minutes later. And that's Arizona stuff. Like just a big wall of black clouds rolls in, gets everything wet, and then just disappears. This is pseudo-desert. 110. Just please. I have a number in my head. Don't be that number. 70s? 70s I might have. Did you film the AliExpress Proline knockoffs? I'm curious about the foams and silicone. The picture showed them solid. They recently arrived. And as a matter of fact, they are right here. So these are fake KO3s. They'll be coming up. And it's open cell. But it's definitely more like this is proper. You know, if you, may she rest in peace, Joanne Crafts, you could get into Joanne Crafts and get those big sheets of foam for doing upholstery. It feels exactly like that. Like, it's definitely not the same stuff that they're making typical open cell foam out of. Now, I don't want to spoil anything. But we are a tight-knit group, us of the live stream. If we get performance out of these, it will be amazing. Love us saying in Wales, if you can see the hills, it's about to rain. If you can't see the hills, it already is. Yeah, you guys wouldn't know what to do here. Like, it already stopped. So we got a couple raindrops fell on the roof, which will just drive up the humidity outside. We will go, not uncommonly, it won't rain for 3 months. We can go 3 months without rain. 80. 75. I'm not going to find a 75. I was like, it's going to pick a length. 80. It's going to pick a length that's just uncut. 75. 75. So I feel like I'm stuck deep. 80. Deep in the deja vu. I have 75. I've definitely done this before. 80. I have a hole. I have a hole in links between basically 75 millimeters and 50 millimeters. And I don't know if that's because that's an uncommon link size, or if more likely 80. I've used them all up because that amount of spacing, 80, that amount of spacing is just super common. 75, 80, 75. Because when you dig through 75, when you dig through for that amount of time and you don't find an 80, you don't find a single one. We're going to be building one or more future flat rail rigs out of the wheelbase is going to be decided by what links we pull out of the bin. $65 in a straight. We can get away with straights on the front. $70. That's the guy. If he has a partner, why? I'm about ready to say that it's close enough. Because we have a 69.5 and a 71. We got a link tool though. Well, we did. We got a link tool though. I like when a package goes on proper walkabout. Keeps happening to me. Well, because as the frequenters of the Discord will know, the folks over at Pandora have, and this is my, tighten your tinfoil caps, this is my conspiracy thinking part of my brain. I've been using an original iPad before they had cameras in them and before they had invented Safari. So you had to download an aftermarket browser, which probably definitely doesn't exist anymore, called Photon. So you could have a web browser on your iPad. And it has been hanging up here in a little bracket that I made for it for over a decade. And it was so old that it was locked onto iOS 5. Now, I got the tingle that Pandora didn't like this. Because what would happen is every once in a while, for a few hours or sometimes up to a day, the Pandora would stop working and it would say something along the lines of, Pandora is undergoing maintenance. We apologize for the inconvenience. Meanwhile, I could go onto the computer that handles the live stream, or I could go onto my phone, and Pandora is working just perfectly. And then the Pandora would come back up on the iPad eventually, and then everything was good. So eventually, I guess what happened is they figured it out. They figured it out how to block old devices. Why would they need to block old devices, you might ask? Well, when I was on the iPad in here, you could leave it on 24 hours a day, and it would track your listening time. It would track your hours, the songs you listen to, and all that. but it never knew that a device was on, because I could bring up Pandora, and of course, like every other service, they limit how many devices you can use simultaneously. I could use other devices. It basically didn't know how to deal with the ancient iPad on iOS 5. And apparently, so far as I can tell, they finally figured it out, because it went down for about a week, and it definitely, well, I mean, the iPad still worked. It's still holding a charge. But it will not, Pandora will not function at all. And basically, all that iPad was being used for was Pandora. It had been plugged in the exact same location. I just took it down this morning. I built this years ago. iPad slides right in there. You tighten the screws down to clamp it. This is a speaker mount so that it will pivot around on the little ball. There was an iPad hanging in there for over a decade. Now there's a big empty spot in the corner. But this is another one of those instances where technology gets better. You know, that works. It sounds better. I had to go to Bluetooth. Like, what are my other choices? Unless I'm surprised that they haven't tried to force upon us some sort of Pandora streaming box. But so far as I know, that's not a thing. I just want something that I can come out to the shed, turn on my loud music, drown out my tinnitus. How hard is it to change the battery? Actually, on that one, it could probably be done, because it's so old. They hadn't started doing things like gluing the batteries in. But the hardware is so old that all it can do is run iOS 5, and it doesn't have a camera in it. It can't run Safari. Oh, RC family heading off to bed. The thunder is so loud here and strong, it's vibrating the house. Wow. They said we had a chance of thunderstorms, and it's partly cloudy outside, and it's cloudy over the mountain. So maybe the high desert is getting splashed on. It looks pretty normal here. Hearing the couple drip drops that caught me off guard a little bit. My hands just like to be busy. I've definitely said before that if it's between arthritis where I have it now and arthritis in my hands, I will take it anywhere except in my hands. There's no OpenCore Legacy patcher for iPad. I don't know, there might be. I was honestly, this evening, I was going to Google uses for ancient iPad. Like, it's a shame. It's been in here so long. Like, can I convert it into a photo frame where it just does photos? If it had a camera in it, it would be being used as I'd be like camera 2, camera 3, camera 1, and then I'd click over to camera 4. But it predates the camera. Camera. Is there anything wrong with the way I say camera? Camera. How do I look on camera? Just every once in a while I hear a little drip, 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 ding, ding, ding on the roof. I used to be scared of thunderstorms when I was a youth. So do you have any music streaming services, or are you just pure Pandora? Just Pandora. I've been Pandora for like, I don't know how many years. I don't know. How long has Pandora been around? That's how long I've been on Pandora. Because it has the little buttons at the top. I'm not a Spotify guy. I'm not a SoundCloud guy. I'm not any of. I just want to listen to my music and I don't want to turn my record player on, so just play songs that I know I like. And it's convenient, and we've been on the family plan for ages because my wife uses it and both of my kids use it. And the one kid tries to talk me into getting Spotify all the time, and I'm like, I don't want to. I still have all my old Apple devices. They're just there uselessly doing nothing. Yeah. Some people use old devices to operate their 3D printers. Oh. Yeah, right up here on the shelf. Let me, that'll take you back a minute, right? Look at that. iPod Classic, 80 gigabyte, circa 2007. Still works. I mean, in a pinch, I could plug the a dock to. Well, no, it's got a headphone jack on it, doesn't it? Yeah. I could have just plugged. You know what? I wonder if we can make it. I wonder if we can turn it on. Because to run the iPad, I have like a 10-foot long dock cable. Why don't you use your free Amazon streaming service? Ugh. Amazon Music is terrible. It is what you use when Pandora goes under actual maintenance. You can almost see it. It says charging, please wait. That thing hasn't been plugged in oh no. When did the iPhone 13 come out? That's the last time that thing was plugged in. The only thing I use Apple for is Pi. Well, I mean, as I've said, and I'll double down at any given opportunity, I don't give a shit what kind of phones people use. I don't care what anybody prefers for their brand of TV. I don't care about any of it. I am in the ecosystem, and I see no chance of escaping the ecosystem, because in the building that you are sharing virtually right now, there are all three MacBooks that I've owned. There's a Mac Mini running this stream. There's an Apple Watch on my wrist. There's an iPhone up there. This is an iPhone 8. This is an iPhone 8 Plus. You're surrounded by it. Every video you've ever watched has been edited on a Mac, previously on a Mac Mini, and now on a Mac Studio. It's all Mac all the way down. When I watch stuff in the house, it's on an Apple TV. I don't have anything. I don't care about what is it? What do they call it? Like, basically, if you are a Mac guy, you can't repair anything. Like the RAM is soldered to the board and stuff. I don't care. I do not care. And I care less. I thought it would be impossible for me to care less. But then I built for my children, not one, but 2 gaming PCs, and awful. It's a trap. It's a trick, and it's a trap. Because they're like, oh, you can upgrade it. No, you can't. It will be obsolete before you finish building it, and then you're going to have to buy a new component for it that costs more than you spent to build the thing in the first place. You're going to be like, what have I done? And that was the instance with both of mine. It does indeed help, but I don't know what I'm doing. So that is a thing. But when the eldest had some money set aside and he decided that he would like to upgrade his PC, I was like, cool, it'll give us a chance to see if we can learn what we're doing. And I pulled the little lever to pop the chip out of the motherboard, and the thermal paste had hardened into an epoxy of some sort, and it ripped all of the pins right out of the motherboard. So then we needed a new motherboard, and then that new motherboard wouldn't fit in the MIDI case that he had, so he needed a new case. And then we might as well get updated RAM while we're at it, and then we might as well put another hard drive in it. And then the next thing you know, it would have been far easier, and I should have known this because I've done work on houses. I've done carpentry work on houses for over 20 years now. I should have just known that better to just build a whole new one and forget about the old one. Give the old one to somebody who needs a computer, because by the time we were done, the hard drive and 2 of the fans were the only things left. You got a brand new PC. That has never happened to me when using any other system of computing. 60. Didn't I say I had a bunch of 60s? And then, compounding that, I have a nephew who is, by my own categorization, peak millennial. Are you talking Spanish when you talk about computers? I can talk about computers, and I can do a little bit of Spanish, but I can't talk about computers in Spanish. Who do you think I am? I only speak English and bad English. So, never has the idea fermented in me to build a computer. I just want a computer to do computer things. And then when it gets too slow, did that video work once I changed the codec for you? Yes, the one from inside the printer. Yes. Yes, it did. I honestly forgot about the video you were talking about. I can talk about cars and car parts and flux capacitors. Oh. I do like a good capacitor. Built my PC 4 years ago and it's still running great. It's all about picking the right parts to start. Granted, you have to be in the know to make those decisions. Well, also, it comes down to what do you want it to do? How serious are you about it doing the things that you want it to do? Because you can buy a graphics card that costs more than my whole Mac Studio. And if you wanted to play games, well, you definitely shouldn't buy a Mac Studio. That's not what it's for. You should build some sort of PC to play games on. But if you want to pipe video, then you can't build a PC to do what I do. You need to buy a machine that's built to do what I do. And I'm still running on M1 chips, and the M4 chips are already out. So maybe next year, maybe 2026, we'll update the studio. And then the old studio will come out here and run the live streams. Because that's depending on what they'll give me. If they give me some money on a trade, I'll do it. My wife has a CD Walkman she uses for rollerblading. My wife just hooks her AirPods up to her phone. One of my nephews, small one, not peak millennial, he saved up to get a computer so he could play Minecraft. And she asks me, my sister-in-law, she asks me as if I would know. She's like, what should I get him? And I'm like, get something on sale on Amazon. Get a PC in a box. This kid ain't going MLG. He wants to play Minecraft and Roblox, the thing the kids play. Maybe when he gets a little older, he'll play some Fortnite. I was like, either go on Amazon or we can go down to Costco. And there's every chance Costco will have a single gaming PC. They will have a built PC. And they did. And it's got like a 4060 in it. 4060, 4090. 32 gig of RAM. It's got like a 2 terabyte NVMe drive. It was like $1,100. Like, full-size case, bristling with LEDs on the inside of it. It's shiny. You didn't have to build it. Barely even had to set it up. And it came with a mouse and a keyboard. And I found them an Acer monitor, a 27-inch monitor on Amazon for $80. And she was out the door. And I was like, that's how you do it. That is not even remotely close to the correct length of that panhard bar. That is too short by a decent amount. Is it? That is too short by like 10 millimeters. How did I get it that far off? I mean, I made it 5 millimeters shorter than I should have, but that is still 5 more millimeters past that. Also, we need the spacers under the servo. Yeah, I don't shop PCs. I never will. I care, if you can believe this, I care less than PCs than I do about 3D printers. Because PCs deliver me nothing but frustration. And I don't do anything that needs a PC. I need to pipe video. So I bought a machine for that. And if I want to play video games, I have a PlayStation. Because I'm a filthy console peasant and proud of it. Yeah, I bought an RTR PC. Yeah. Both my kids are on, mine are on gaming PCs and dual monitors. The older one's got gaming, like 1 millisecond refresh monitors. The other one isn't. The other one just plays Overwatch, or as I call it, baby games for babies. But they seem to enjoy it. Sometimes I'll turn my PlayStation 5 on and play for a few minutes and then remember that I have videos that should be edited. Yeah, hopefully I won't have to build another PC ever again because they're adults now. And I love them to death, but we've definitely achieved the junction where if you want to upgrade your PC, you should go get a job and then upgrade that PC to your heart's content. I've told them both, your father is old and he runs a YouTube channel. It's not that hard. You could be making enough to outfit the PC of your dreams without that much effort expended. 15 minutes. Holy crap. I do love the busy hands. Fly the time right by. I did it to myself with the. I love I mean this. I know it can sound facetious when I say things, but the positioning of the upper link mount on this is great because you can really turn this. You can turn the axle and it really doesn't get in the way. It's got a little lean back on it, kind of similar to how Traxxas puts their link, so it's all the way behind the tube of the axle. I like that. Panhard mount's in a decent spot. It looks a little bit more centered up now. I just used this link because we're going to have to replace it anyway. It's far, far too short. So we are at 29. And then on this side, we are at 35. Okay. So about 2.5 millimeters shorter than what it is now. And where we have ended up right now is 105. So we're going to be in the like 102 area. And then we can rough guesstimate where this is going to fall. And it's going to be about 95. 7 millimeters different. That's not terrible. I just don't understand the point of all the PC crap. All that does is keep people inside, glued to them for hours and hours and hours instead of going outside and getting fresh air. I'm going to have to agree with Robert on this one. Charles is going a little boomer on us right now. These damn kids. Back in my day, all you needed was a stick and a hoop. Just a stick and a hoop. And these kids today, what with your video games? They're out. Remember when it was a stick and a hoop, and now they're all killing prostitutes? And, I mean, you know, there's something to that. We're not gonna discount it. But I grew up on video games. Well, we're Gen X. We grew up on video games. We're part of the era. So there are some of us that didn't. Well, that didn't. We didn't all grow up. We grew up with it around us. Do I wish my kids would show an interest in toy cars? Well, I mean, yeah. But at the same time, for better or for worse, I never tried to pressure my kids into doing anything. Because at this point in life, I've kind of come to the conclusion that you can't make someone like something. They're gonna gravitate towards it. Do I have regrets about my childhood, about things that I could have potentially had and don't? Because my father was a welder. I was never close with my father and never will be, so I didn't learn how to weld. So I can barely stick two pieces of metal together haphazardly here. My grandmother was a seamstress, and I don't know how to sew. These are the types of things you'll find out later in life, and I say this to, if anybody here is a youth, all of us old folk, we already know it. The older you get, the regret comes not in the form of what you did, but what you didn't. We regret the things we didn't do. So, in the selfishness that is the human condition, I want my children to carry with them I want them to carry a little bit of regret into adulthood. Because I do. And I didn't have shit growing up. So we overcorrected. That's a fact. Their mother recognizes it. I recognize it. It's too late. They're grown now. We didn't spoil them, but we also didn't deprive them. And also, we didn't force them to go and join this or be involved in this sport. We tried the scouts early on. We tried as hard as we could. And it got to a point where you definitely picked up the feeling, there was more than a sneaking suspicion that you were dragging your children to a thing that, in the grand truth of it, you didn't really want to be at either. So at that point, you're like, I feel like I'm punishing them, and I'm getting splashback. I'm getting punished at the same time. So we didn't force them to do sports. My eldest was in band for 3 years, and my grand takeaway from that is that I rented a trumpet for like $49 a month for 3 years. And you're like, $1,800 for a trumpet? Yeah. Do you know what a trumpet costs? And that's a simple one. And that was the closest that I've come to murdering another human being in hot blood inside of an establishment, when I went to take back the rented blissfully. It started off as a good day and almost ended up as someone's very bad day when I went to return that rental trumpet, and the guy was poring over that trumpet as if we were on an episode of Antiques Roadshow. And I had been paying like $5 a month in insurance on that trumpet for 3 years. So I knew, aside from throwing that thing down a flight of stairs and then running over it with a car, we were absolutely fine, because it had a little dent in the, I guess, the bell, the little part at the end, had a little dent in it. And this guy was looking at it like he was considering whether or not he should take that thing back in. And I was already short on string by that point of the day. So I said, in as calm of a voice as I could muster, "Is there a problem?" And that guy wasn't picking up on the subtext. Not at all. But the manager who came out after definitely picked up on the subtext of that and was like, "Everything's fine here, sir." And he signed the little paper and he handed me the slip. And that was the last time I would ever go to that music rental shop, or recommend anyone ever have the misfortune of going to that music rental shop. I hope that the recession gets worse, and I hope that they go out of business, and I hope no one ever has to darken their door ever again. Because you'd think if somebody threw $1,800 into space with literally nothing to show for it after the close of the contract, so nothing but profit there for them. So yeah, don't put your kids into band. If you're gonna do something for children, pick a sport which has the shortest season and the least amount of equipment. If it's anything that has the potential of introducing the terminology travel league into your life, just don't do it. Yeah, steer clear of travel league. Because I had decided very early on that my minimum level of requirement as a parent was significantly lower than maybe some. Maybe some achieve more. Maybe some press their children to be better, whatever. But I didn't have parents. Bona fide latchkey kid of the 1970s. Had to raise myself. I'm overcorrecting now here in this dystopia. I didn't know I'd get to live in a dystopia. I also didn't know that I would overcorrect this hard. So my qualifications I set on myself for parenthood was like, be there. That helps. Be there. And try not to instill in them childhood traumas, fears of abandonment, and all of that other stuff. My parents divorced when I was 2. My wife and I are still together. My kids are 21 and 19. So, as a latchkey kid of the 1970s, I feel like I've been successful. Hey, Chuck was a latchkey kid in the 70s too. Diagnosed by a bona fide psychologist. Because doing my own laundry. Been doing my own laundry since I started going to school. Making my own lunches, walking myself to school. And it's a pattern that you can't escape from. I make all the food here. I make the food for my wife. I make the food for all my kids. I do all the shopping. I never got out of the... I never unlocked that latch. I'm still locked in. It's the only way I know how to live. The Mias is surprisingly receptive to being chassis-mounted steeringed. Nothing wrong with a Red Cat trumpet. How much? Oh, these sessions are free, baby. These sessions are free. Makes a pretty good chicken Alfredo. I was a lot more into cooking, probably 10 or 12 years ago. Maybe it was at the wrong time. Maybe just the stars didn't align for me, is what I think it was. Because children, as you may or may not know, are picky, can be picky. And you go through all this work and you make something and then they don't eat the thing that you've made, and you know why, because they're kids and they're dumb and they're picky. But at the same time, it will really drill the motivation out of you. So now I cook, I don't know, I think it might be a small exaggeration to say I cook one day a week. I prepare meals, but I don't, like, I'm not over a stove. Plus, I'm too tired from, all the toy cars. Right? So. I figured out how to make a great brownie using butter and milk and fresh, well-fed chicken eggs. I make brownies by buying the giant 5-pound Ghirardelli brownie box from the Costco and mixing it with water. And I bake them in the oven. And then I eat too many brownies and I feel sick. And then I regret about making brownies. Does mac and cheese count? Sure. I probably make mac and cheese once a week. The last thing is eggs I tried to boil. I ended up busting them. I cooked them way too long and way too hot. Just stick to fried eggs, Chuck. Nobody can mess up a fried egg. Because if you flip that fried egg and the yolk breaks, still a fried egg, baby. Still delicious. Everybody's buys a fried egg. Brownie with water? Yeah. Because here's the thing. If you introduce yourself to the finer things in life, you'll become accustomed to that. And then you'll be like, oh, well, I only like this type of brownie. You know what's good? A brownie. If you've picked up a brownie, I will buy the little, what are they, the La Petite Bakery or whatever. Little tiny brownies are about this big. Are they the best brownies you ever had? No. But are they brownies? Yeah. Are brownies still good? Hell yeah. So if you start turning your nose up to sweet treats, other than the cakes made by my in-laws, which, as a person of somewhat ample size, I'm a little more Sakamoto than not. I would say I don't waste the calories. Like, if I'm going to eat a sweet treat, I'd rather it at least be sort of good. in the cake versus pie, you can really mess up a cake. And I've had some messed up cakes. And I mean that like messed up cakes. I mean where like they forgot an ingredient. I mean box cake. They're not making cake from scratch and then they like forget to put oil in it. Or they forget to put butter in it. Or they forget, oh, we forgot to put in eggs. And baking is not a fly by the seat of your pants affair. My son said mac and cheese isn't real mac and cheese if it's made with actual cheese. Your son is right. Mac and cheese comes from a box. Mac and cheese is one that is firmly in the category of comfort food because if you grew up without a lot of money, mac and cheese was like a reward. That was like getting a treat. Kraft, what do they call it outside the U.S.? It's just called like Kraft dinner. I question the moral compass of anyone who says something is too sweet or they don't like sweets. 100%. A guy on YouTube tried to say that the Little Debbie Cosmic Brownies were F tier on his tier list. That guy needs to reevaluate his life choices. So what if those little nugget things on the top are too hard? You just flick them off and eat the brownie. You flick them off on the ground and you eat the brownie. And it's just like I saw a thing that said, all of us, I can almost guarantee that all of us have cut off the part of a piece of moldy bread and then eaten the rest of the bread. Or the end of the loaf is moldy, so you throw the loaf away, that end of the loaf away, and then you eat the bread down towards the bottom because that's absolutely fine. We all know to a degree that's not how mold works. If there's mold on the bread, all of that bread has mold in it. All of it. It's full of mold now. Once you see mold in the bag, you got to throw the bread away. But you don't. We've also cut the edge off the... Who here has not cut the green edge off the cheese? You cut the green edge off the cheese and you eat the cheese. You make a grilled cheese out of the bread that you threw the moldy pieces away and cut the edge off the cheese and made that grilled cheese with the moldy bread and the moldy cheese because that's how you do it, right? Like, if you go, oh my God, and you don't cut the edge off the cheese, then you might be the one of the it's too sweet people. And that is, yeah, free penicillin. It just toughens you up, man. It just toughens you up. My ex-wife served me the toast with the mold. Don't Google the brown sauce. There it is right there. Don't waste cheese. Do you know what a luxury having cheese is? Does anybody here remember the gold government cheese? Hell yeah. Government cheese in the brick. It was like 3 inches by 3 inches by like 1.5 feet. Yeah. In my opinion, people who say they love vegetables have convinced themselves that they love vegetables. No one loves vegetables naturally. I honestly, I can't really argue that. I mean, I've said I like green beans. I like when you make, like if you buy fresh green beans and you steam them and you eat them, when you bite them, they squeak against your teeth. I like the squeaky part against my teeth. I also like Brussels sprouts once I figured out that you could fry Brussels sprouts in bacon fat. So I think what I'm saying is I like bacon fat, and who doesn't? Who doesn't like, everybody would like Brussels sprouts if they'd had them fried in bacon grease. You Americans in your cheese caves. Yeah. No, Velveeta is like a plastic. But it makes a great nacho cheese. Still Stilton is already moldy. Just eat it. It's special mold. And blue cheese as well. So yeah, somebody would be like, blue cheese is my favorite cheese, and take a big bite of it. But then if the American cheese slices in the fridge have got a little mold on them, they're like, come on. Just eat your cheese mold. Don't act like you're too good. We never even got to the wheels and the tires. We'll finish it. Maybe I will just suss out the front links, and then we'll finish it putting it together next time. That way it can be an official, it came from the live stream joint. I won't have to rename it or anything. I don't remember what episodes are coming up, but there's a lot. The Jolly Green Build series is on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. 2 installments a day, and they are just bonus installments, the regular 4 p.m. stuff. There is still cabs on Sunday. There is a something on Monday, and there's a something else on Tuesday. I didn't occupy any other spaces with Jolly Green stuff because I figure it applies to even fewer people than what ordinarily goes on. Peppers, red, green, or yellow? Who doesn't like peppers? Bell peppers. Bell peppers are fine. What's cabs mean? You know what? I'll have to go look it up. I have it written down somewhere. I'll go look it up. So while I look it up, I also have to go put this, I gotta put this back in the printer. I'm gonna spin this. I'm gonna bend you a fondue adieu. I'll see you all again real soon. The wife said she has a meeting that might not end until 4:30, and if I have to wait an hour to get my coffee drink, I'm gonna lose my mind. Is that a Darkwing Duck figure in the background? Well, I know I don't have a Darkwing Duck here. So I'm going to say no. Just trying to figure out what looks like Darkwing Duck. I can't think of anything. Got to beat 17 seconds. All right. We'll find out if I do. I'm still here, but now I'm not. Thanks for joining, everybody. Now I'm gonna turn the microphone off. I'm gonna put the rest of this stuff away, and I'm gonna go in the house, and I'm gonna sit down because I've earned it.